thank you so much, Phil, for having me here, and thank you for to all the glimpse of the future team. It's been so far. It's been like a really great event, and it's great to see this happening online actually. So my name is Alicia. I am a surveying engineer and a reality modeling enthusiast. And I hope I can share some of that enthusiasm here in the next 15 minutes with you. I work as a sales campaign manager for Virtuosity, a Bentley systems company. So for those who are not familiar with Bentley, Bentley is a global leader in software solutions for the design, construction, and operations of infrastructure. And Virtuosity is Bentley's new e-commerce platform that we launched last year to provide Bentley software with paired with experts training and support. So basically all licenses that we provide from Bentley systems come with this expert services for all our customers. So yeah, let me go to the reality modeling here. So what is reality modeling? Reality modeling is the process, or what we call at Bentley, the process of capturing the physical reality of an infrastructure asset to add that real world digital context to your projects, which we have seen actually in the last two presentations quite clearly. And basically it's creating that, the most realistic and accurate representation of your physical assets. And how this ties with the digital construction. I came across this definition from Fred Mills that I wanna read. Digital construction is the use and application of digital tools to improve the process of delivering and operating the built environment. So basically, the digital tools to improve that process. So reality modeling, I believe that is, the beginning or starting point of that digitalization process. And we'll see a few use cases that, clearly will show that. So to mention a few of those, the value of having an accurate representation of your physical assets is becoming more and more tangible at all levels and stages of the asset life cycle. To mention a few of them that we will, touch and see in the use cases, and that you guys have actually explained in previous presentations, the communication with the stakeholders. Reality modeling provides the most accurate and realistic representation of that project, which makes it accessible for everyone to understand the impacts of any decisions that need to be taken on the project. I think someone mentioned as well the real-time progress monitoring of a construction site. Drones were really big in this area, and I wanted to say that thanks to the advancement of technology, in this case the software, we have a project, a team in London that mounted a GoPro on a crane and was able to generate a reality model out of the footage coming from that GoPro, which was it's actually pretty cool. So saying that you don't need to use drones anymore. Obviously drones are the easiest, but sometimes you can't fly a drone in the middle of London. So the workflow and engineering workflow optimization. So start from having that digital context instead of a blank canvas. The better collaboration, clearly that someone else mentioned before. A single source of truth. I think it was Fiona mentioning this at the very beginning of the presentations today, kind of like the basis of that digital twin that can provide and link all relevant information together. And finally, and something that we will see clearly in the use cases that I will be presenting later, the competitive edge. A big part of our customers is small, medium businesses. I find that they are much better early adopters for new technologies, and I think they don't not only integrate the technology to add value for their customers, for their end customers, but also internally. So they integrate those, and we'll see a case for reality modeling where they optimize their own resources in-house. So let me go to the first use case, high quality drone inspections with Eyefly. So let me see if I can play this video. There we go. So Eyefly is a company based in the Netherlands, and they started operating drones back in 2014, offering drone services for many industries. Today, they are very strong in two markets: the housing and the bridge inspection. And one of the particularities that they have in their business model is that they were the first company in the Netherlands to have a 100 megapixel camera. So a 100 megapixel camera is a megapixel is a million pixels, right? Think about your phone. I have an iPhone 11 that comes with a 12 megapixel camera, so that's 12 million pixels. 100 megapixel is like 100 million pixels. So this is, it describes the resolution of digital cameras, the number of pixels. Kind of like to simplify the concept. But this camera also captures quite a large footprint. So getting a significant amount of data captured with a very high level of detail. And I'm talking a high level, I'm talking about sub-millimeter level. So the level of detail that you get in the final reality model is outstanding. To mention like a couple of added value deliverables they have for integration with reality modeling in the two industries, in the two markets. For the housing, they do something really cool. So they generate a rough 3D model from outsourced data, so LiDAR or orthophotos that they can find, from governmental platforms, for instance, and they create a simple reality model that they import as their 3D flight to plan the mission, and the drone will fly autonomously around the building or the asset. So they optimize the data capture process immensely. And then for bridge inspection is a different story. Actually, you are seeing in the video right now, those pictures come from underneath the bridge. So underneath the bridge, there is no GPS signal. So they need to fly the drone manually. And that presents an incredible challenge because for the reality modeling software, you need to have certain aspects like overlap and a consistent capture of the data. So the level of accuracy anyways is just mind-blowing, even though with those challenges, which they because of the experience that they have, they manage to do it very well. What you're seeing now in the video is their online platform. So that basically they deliver to their customers that 3D model, that reality model, linked to all the inspection data. And the platform allows their customers to make annotations, inspected field data, and so forth and so on. Let me go to the next use case. I can move on. Yeah. Automation of oil tank inspection with Falcker. This is also a pretty cool use case. So Falcker helps their customers with digital asset condition for oil tanks. They provide, this is a very clear example of like end-to-end digitalization of a very of a process that still today, someone mentioned before, is being executed with hard copy paper or email. So they provide that digitalization process. Operators obviously spend less time doing hard physical repetitive work on the assets, and they can easily share those results and those inspections digitally. Their platform offers that the reality mesh combined with the as-built model and different layers of, for example, they have an algorithm to optimize the process of the inspection process. So it's very much focused on that inspection process, as I said before, and they have like checklists for the inspectors, and then the stakeholders obviously have access to all data in one unique platform. And one of the interesting aspects of Falcker is that besides the enormous value that they are adding to their customers, one of the things that they managed to do with reality modeling was optimize their image processing workflow. So the Milo, who is the guy in charge of the data processing, managed to automate the workflow. So basically everything that he had to do to process the data in ContextCapture in the reality modeling platform that we provide, he was able to automate that. So instead of clicking buttons and processing that data, which looks very much the same for every time, that's now automated. So they are saving a lot of time and money on that process, which I think I find it really, really interesting. And the next use case is Fairfleet. This is also really interesting to me. I think their business model is really interesting. So they have they come from a insurance company. They were part of the Allianz X Digital Accelerator, or I'm not sure I'm saying that name right, but something like that. So they were aiming to capture and deliver the data more efficiently for the insurance industry. They offer a one-stop shop, as they call it, for drone services with 2 dimensions. So they run the operations processes on their platform with a network of over 2,500 drone pilots, certified drone pilots, operating in more than 72 countries as of today. So on the platform, so you go onto the platform, you book the flight. The customer doesn't need to worry about anything like legislation, insurance, flight planning, nothing. The platform does it, Fairfleet does it for you. And they assign the drone operator accordingly to their project requirements. So they know the background of the drone operator, they know the platforms that they have and so forth. So once the data is captured, Fairfleet provides the requested deliverables, and the customer can access and work with them through their online platform. So I can show you a quick video of how that looks like. You see actually in the 3 videos that I've been showing that the platforms look very similar to each other. So it's kind of like, the 3D model, the reality mesh is the kind of like the center of the platform and is linked to all the field data so that the customer can easily navigate and, do their inspections, annotations, and so forth. One of the interesting aspects of this use case is that they started diversifying in different industries. So from insurance to real estate, precision agriculture, logistics, even construction. And they realized that if you break down the process of data acquisition and data processing for reality modeling, it is quite similar independently from the industry. So, construction, insurance, or bridge inspection, you need to capture the data with X requirements. You need to process that data and you need to generate X deliverables for your end customer. So they are leveraging on an existing network of drone operators to expand and diversify their portfolio massively, which I think is a brilliant and very smart, especially in the drone industry, which the drone operations are normally the struggle to expand your business. So I think what we've seen in the last, in these 3 use cases is that if I was doing this presentation like 5 years ago, the key speech will have been, the key value proposition will have been the drone. 5 years ago, you had to convince your customers that the drone technology was cheaper, was more efficient, was going to optimize your workflow and so forth. And nowadays, the discussion is shifting into how to make the data more valuable and more tangible for the end customers. So I think these 3 use cases are really good examples on how reality modeling is bringing more value into both the internal operations, as we saw with Falcker, for example, and the value provided to their end customers. And with that, before I go, I want to invite you all to a webinar series we're kicking off in 2 weeks. And so we're going to do a showcase of a construction project. We call it Concept to Construction, where we're going to showcase all Bentley software, going from creating that reality model down to the design of the building and the planning of that construction in synchro. So wow. I'll be sharing. Yeah, that's going to be really cool.
That's a great idea to tie it all together.
it's going to be really big. So I can't wait for that. I'll be sharing more info on my LinkedIn. So yeah, stay tuned for more details. And thank you so much for
excellent presentation.
Thank you, Phil.
Well done.